This video has been sponsored by myself, so let me use this space to inform you that if you like my videos and tutorials, you can now become a Patreon. Check out the link in the video description to see which great Patreon rewards you can get, and except for these Patreon rewards, I can also of course make sure to keep the website and tutorials advertisement free. For more information or for a single donation with PayPal, which is also greatly appreciated, check out the link in the video description. Now enough of this e-bagging, let's start the video. Hello and welcome to a brand new video on my brand new PC, because finally after 3 years I ditched my old Haswell PC, the i7 7490K. It was a fantastic setup, probably the best I've ever had, to be really honest, in my gaming, in all of my gaming setups. But it is time to move on, because I am a video editor, of course. I produce videos, and for that the 4-cores, 8 threads from the i7 7490K is starting to show its age after 5 years, and I've bought a fancy new setup. So what did I buy? I did buy a Ryzen 2700X 8-core 16-thread CPU, Kingston HyperX Predator, 16 gigabytes of memory, DDR4 of course for the new platform, 3200 megahertz because Ryzen requires have fast memory. I bought the Gigabyte X470 Aorus Ultra gaming motherboard. Gigabyte might not necessarily be my first choice regarding motherboards, but I was able to get it pretty cheap for about $100, and the motherboard itself usually is about $150, $160. And I've kept my GeForce GTX 1080 Ti because it's doing a great job, and I'm not gonna spend freaking 1,400 euros or dollars on a RTX 2080 Ti. So why the 2700K and not the 9900K from Intel? Pretty much because on 1440p resolution, which we're playing right now, on 1440p resolution, the difference is not that super high between the 9900K and the 2700X. And on top of that, and perhaps the most important thing, the 9900K is in my country at this moment somewhat around 700 euros, $750, I think, something like that. And that's just way too expensive, because for the price I've paid now, I mean for that price for the 9900K, I've bought my 2700X CPU, my RAM and my motherboard, and I still have some money left over, about 50 euros or something, because the 2700X also comes with its own cooling. So yeah, with brand new hardware it becomes a something fun to test out. And you might have thought that I was going to show Star Citizen as the most demanding PC game. And maybe that is, but Star Citizen is an alpha phase. It's not even a game, I think, right now. But Kingdome Come Deliverance has something that you might not know. The game was released in the beginning of 2018, but this game actually has an experimental graphics mode. Also, I would say on top, I do have an EMB enabled, because since a couple of weeks, we can now have EMBs for Skyrim. Wow, I've made so many Skyrim videos that I forgot the name of this game almost. Kingdome Come Deliverance now supports EMB since a couple of weeks, so I've installed the Apex EMB for Kingdome Come Deliverance. So that makes it even more heavier. From this experimental graphics mode, and let's show it to you guys. Go to settings, go to graphic settings. We want to set it to ultra high. We want to have HD textures on. We want to confirm this. And as you can see here, ultra high is experimental and intended for future hardware. Save anyway, yes. And yeah, I can remember from my old 7490K, my 4-core 8-thread Haswell CPU, which was a fantastic CPU with GTX 1080 Ti. It could still play all games, but I could remember that the 7490K on this mode was pretty much horse shit. I mean, really unplayable FPS, about 20, 30 or something, and all areas, indoor, outdoor. Let's see, let's turn really everything to the max, really to the max. So I'm playing a 1440p resolution, as you saw. This I want to have on 2AX high. I want to have all distance slots maximum. So I want to confirm this again. Ultra high experimental and intended for future hardware. Save anyway. Yes, of course, we want to test out our Ryzen 2700X. So my experience, what I expect is that the Ryzen 2700X is going to do a lot better because of course it's a brand new CPU, but also Kingdome Come Deliverance actually supports 6 cores, and my 704090K old Haswell CPU was of course 4 cores, 8 threads, and the Ryzen 2700X is 8 cores, and that means that Kingdome Come Deliverance can really benefit from at least 6 of the 8 cores from the game. Maybe 8 cores, but I don't think so. I think it's only 6 cores. So let's test it out. Let's test a lot of areas, indoor, outdoor, and see how the performance is going with this game. As you can see here in the upper left corner, I have a FPS counter. Right now it's doing 60 FPS, and my 704090K was definitely not being able to do this on this experimental mode. But yeah, let's just walk around a little bit. Let's see, I can mess it a little bit with weather and time. It's now 18:34, so it's in the evening. And let's start at dawn, so let's add 6 hours. Yeah, maybe add 2 hours more. So we have it like this. Nice sunrise and all. And yeah, let's run around a little bit. This nice little tree. I really love the game. I still have to play it story-wise because I think 90% I have explored the game for showcase purposes, and maybe 10% I actually played the game. So yeah, I really still have to actually play it. Maybe I'm going to live stream next year because with the Ryzen 2700X, 8 cores, 16 threads, should be a fantastic streaming CPU, and maybe I'm going to play this ultra mod, or at least ultra modded. It's a HD texture pack in ENB and ultra settings on 1440p resolution. As you can see there in the distance, especially with ENB, looks really amazing, the distant landscape and all that stuff. And for now, it's actually running at 60 FPS still. Wow, it actually surprises me. I have to admit, I did a little bit of testing in the outdoor areas, and yeah, it was around 60, but to see it here, you know, with the distant view, 60 FPS is really something I did not get when my 704090K, and yeah, thanks for the GTX 1090 Ti, still going strong, still doing a good job. And yeah, let's see, let's go to the city. Let's see if we're able to walk there without taking too much time. And the same as in Skyrim, Kingdome Come Deliverance also has a lot of console commands where you can play with. You can advance weather, you can advance time, set weather effects, all that stuff. That's really, stuff. Set God mode. I also are able now to actually fly around. Let me show you that. So if I want to fast travel, let's see, towards the forest there, I can do that. I can just land, hopefully land pretty safely. Probably not. Oh, okay. I've landed pretty safe. So yeah, that's really nice with all the console commands, especially for people like me who usually only record showcases and not really, want to do a lot of effort to get the best shots in their videos or taking screenshots, the so-called screen archers. So yeah, let me show you around. And this dense forest, it's 55 FPS. We have a little bit of a drop, and as you can see with the distance view, probably we dropped to 40. I'm not really sure why it's 40 here. Maybe the forests are very dense. No idea, because if we go to the open fields again, let's try to go there and land there. Probably die now. Let's see. But I've God mode enabled, so I should be able to stand up pretty easily. Yeah. Okay, great. Also, HD textures are enabled, which really makes a difference. You wouldn't say it if you look at it like this. It still looks maybe not that good, but if you compare it with vanilla textures, definitely a lot better. Maybe we can see it on a tree bark here. Yeah, not super impressive, but a lot better than vanilla. The game just looks really cool. So again, for some reason in this open field, I do have solid 60 FPS. Let's try to go to the, to the entrance of this castle. Or maybe to the coastline. Let's see, where do we land? Again, here also 40 FPS, so that's kind of weird, to be really honest. Okay. Ouch. It's cool to not perma die, dear. Let's see, I think this is the entrance to the city. What's the name called again? Oh, this is Rete, okay. It's one of the starting areas. That's what I do remember, actually. I've done some quests here, I thought I did. So here's where you actually start, so that's good. Here we can also test out FPS and all that stuff. Let's turn my mouse sensitivity a little bit lower on my mouse, because else it might be a little bit too disorientating for you guys to watch this. But here we are at Rethe. Okay, here in this small village. Our FPS is also acceptable, 50, which is actually pretty nice. Alright, and now let's go to Rethe. This looks pretty weird, right? I know. Ah, here it is. Here it is, actually. Oh, whoops. Let's not overshoot this, right? Okay, let's try to recover. I'm not really sure if fly speed is actually activated or not. Oh, hold on. Relax, relax, relax. Okay. We've landed. Henry's probably very sick, but let's see. Where are we, actually? Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, we overshot it by really much. Okay, that's alright. Let's try to do it correct this time. Where's the entrance of Scarlet's? It's here, right? Somewhere. Is it here? Here it is, I think. Alright. Okay, here we are. That's how you fast travel. These stone hedges look really cool, I think. As well, that's also something HD Textures really makes better. And let's enter the city. What is the current time? Let's have it around dusk. I really think Kingdome Come Deliverance looked fantastic at dusk and dawn. Of course, also at the other time zones, but dusk dawn really is the best looking effect. So, wow, what a big FPS hit we have already here. Now it's 50. If we go indoor, I think it is 50 around, something like that, or 60 maybe. But with all these houses here, yeah, as you can see, FPS drops like a rock. 30 FPS, which is a console experience. Not to make fun of the console players, but from what I've heard, PlayStation 4 suffers from a really high FPS loss as well, because the game is not really that optimized for the console. It's of course, I think I can say, designed for PC use originally, but they had to port it to consoles too. Yeah, you know, other consoles. So that's also one of the biggest problems, I think. Really, it's really a pity that if you would compare the beta with the final product, the beta forest areas looked so really cool and realistic, and they did unfortunately had to do some compromise with the forests, the foliage and all, and that's really unfortunate, because that will make the game even more better, more realistic. I've tried to look for some of the betas. There were some of the torrents back then for beta versions, and yeah, but I can't compare it and I can't check it out anymore. A Kingdome Come Deliverance beta. If you might have a beta version which is still playable from a torrent or something, which you maybe did use, yeah, when this game was in beta, let me know, and yeah, I can compare some footage. This looks really great, by the way. As you can see, so much detail here in this cliff underneath the bridge. So 40 FPS here, and it's probably going to drop a lot, I think. Yeah, I'm afraid, in this city. 30, it's around 30, console experience again. It's not unplayable, I have to say, this Ultra mode. It's luckily not unplayable. It's, you know, 30 FPS is, yeah, I hate to say the word, but that's what people would call a cinematic experience. I don't really agree with that. I really love my 60 frames per second, but I wouldn't name it unplayable. But in all honesty, I don't think you would see a lot of difference immediately between very high settings, which I normally played on, and this experimental ultra mode. But anyway, it's nice to see. Wow, the FPS drops under 30 now, 28, something like that. So let's see in crowded areas how it, if we can drop it a little bit more. Hopefully not, but. So this is a shop, I think, or a tavern. Can we enter? Is that allowed? No, it's not. Okay, that's fine. So there are a lot of people, and as you can see here, 25 FPS. Yeah, we're now getting really choppy FPS. It's city is very demanding. That's the name of that. It's very demanding for the future experimental hardware. How is an NPC looking, actually? Not bad, not bad. Can we talk with her? Oh, we can. Yeah, this is what Kingdome Come Deliverance does sometimes. It's Oh, I have the HUD disabled, I think. G-Show HUD is 1. Does it work? Yeah, it does. And dialogue. Okay. Okay, let's quickly disable the HUDs because I'm also invisible. It's the same T-detect command in Skyrim. If you know that command, it makes you invisible for everything, and you won't get any interactions with creatures or NPCs to safely walk around and take screenshots and videos. But anyway, yeah, the FPS at the worst, I think it's around 20, which is, yeah, pretty unplayable. I mean, for this single-player game, if you really want to run this in the experimental mode, then you can maybe do that. But in cities, yeah, it's maybe a bit too much to drop to 20 FPS. But outside, it's doing a pretty good job. I mean, if we would leave the city here, if we would leave Rete, wow, this looks really good. I'm just sometimes stunned with the graphics of Kingdome Come Deliverance. Another thing which apparently they still didn't fix are these shadow issues. I can remember that when this game was released, you had to turn down the shadow effects because apparently the game engine still can't really handle shadows that well. So that's unfortunate. That's still not fixed. But this kind of view really makes it up, I think. I mean, the beauty of the graphics, it's so amazing, so realistically looking. And here, the depth and the scale of this game, I've never seen anything like it in 30 years of gaming, really. Maybe Star Citizen, I mean, that's also really next generation of graphics. I think both of these games are. Kingdome Come Deliverance and Star Citizen, for what they are now already, I mean, Star Citizen, I mean, with that, it's something that's truly next level, and yeah, that's really amazing. I know there are a lot of people which have different opinions about Star Citizen. They think it's a scam. I mean, I don't really have an opinion about it because I don't know the funding, how the funding went. But from what I've seen from the showcases, it looks extraordinary already. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so outdoor areas here is about 45, and I think the more open field areas. So let's try to go there. They're really around 60 FPS.
Jesus, it's not as shallow as it looks.
Oh, he actually detects this as a river, and normally you're not able to pass rivers. So in that case, I'm afraid I have to drop myself. Can I pass this? I'm gonna die probably. Oh no, not even gonna die. All right, so let's see. Can we find any more interesting stuff to walk on? So by skeleton, let's go to a different area. Maybe here, this village. Yeah, we've seen villages. So let's just go into the dense forest. Let's just plunge into a forest. Let's see how that's actually really running. Forest is good, 50 FPS. Depends, I think, on the density of the trees and all that stuff. But so far, the forests are good, and that's what I really like about Kingdome Come Deliverance as well. But as you can see, the scale of this game, how super realistically the landscapes are being captured from real Czech Republic, as far as I know. You can see there all the way in the distance. I mean, and especially if you go a little bit higher, you can actually see that. Also, what I would like to, what I forgot to tell you, regarding the new CPUs which we have next year, we're going to have some fantastic competition between AMD, the red team, versus blue team, Intel, because if you have seen the leaked specifications from AMD for their Ryzen 3000 series, the Ryzen 7 3000 series, so the 3700X, is going to have a 12-core 24-thread CPU with 5 GHz of turbo boost, so the same as the 9900K has, which means theoretically it's already better as the 9900K. But they're also going to release a 9 series, and that's going to be a 16-core 32 threads with 1 GHz turbo boost. That's insane. And maybe, of course, Intel has the single core, better single core performance, but it's now AMD's time to shine. And with that, I don't necessarily mean I'm pro AMD because I've been an Intel gamer for 30 years or something, but they can really do something for Intel's weird money-grabbing upgrade plans. I mean, we've been in quad cores for, Intel has been in quad cores for freaking 4 generations, and when AMD did release their Ryzen CPUs with their 8 cores on the top level, all of a sudden, you know, Intel was like, hey, maybe we should release something like that as well. So then for the first time this year, they did release an 8-core, 16-thread CPU, the 9900K, and just the regular 8-core, which I think is a better deal if you're just go for gaming, the 9700K. But yeah, it's good to have these two companies, let's say, motivate each other with these releases of CPUs, because Intel has been too dominant for too long, I think. And I say that while I'm an Intel gamer. I mean, yeah, I really love Intel.
Domain without Sir Radzig's permission.
And of course, my 7490K was just a beast for freaking 5 years. Intel has very good value, but they really need to, do more. Need to do more special with their next CPU line, and they probably are going to do that because 10 nanometer is coming, and 10 nanometer for Intel and 7 nanometer for AMD. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, FPS wise, in cities and all, it's around, as you saw, 30 when it's crowded, and when it's really crowded, about 20. Villages like these, around 50, which is very well playable, and exploring is fine with 60 FPS and all. So yeah, what can I say? I mean, Kingdome Come Deliverance, it's my game of the year 2000.
Shame I can't swim.
Wow, I'm actually dying from water. It's it's my game of the year. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. I mean, it's a fantastic game. I know it has been plagued with a lot of bugs, especially at the start, but the guys from War Studios, they patched a lot actually, and yeah, it's just a super great game. It's my game of the year, especially for PC, because the other stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2 and what is that, God of War, Spider-Man, they were all console exclusives, unfortunately. And yeah, Kingdome Come Deliverance, it's our Lord and Savior on a PC this year, and check it out. If the game, it's probably on sale on Steam with a lot of DLC, so like the Game of the Year edition for, I don't know, $20 or something like that. And hopefully see you guys at the next video. Hopefully I'm now able to produce more videos because of faster rendering times the 2700X should have. And hopefully I'm going to stream next year. And yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and see you at the next video.